Well, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I can tell you I did, and I am sore and exhausted, frankly, coming this weekend. You might see by my ruddy glow, I spent the entire weekend outside, and I hope you guys had a good Friday, too. I missed Friday as I was out camping, and I thought since I got the old man reputation, I will do an old man slideshow for you, and I can show you my weekend. You guys up for that? Carlos, by the way, having some connectivity issues, so he hopefully will be joining us soon. But what's going on here? Why does this keep happening? There it is. All right, so let's first. I'll show you where I'm going. Let's do this. Ta-da! All right, I can just show you my my screen here. So I went. I did this crazy thing where I went swimming this weekend. Believe it or not, if you don't know Canada, I went to Northern Ontario in Algonquin Park, and we swam through Kishkauqui Lake down this route that took us. Well, it was a crazy route, man. We swam all the way down here through White Birch Lake. We did all these little portages, swam all the way back up and back to the car over the course of 3 days. A lot of fun, actually. And it looks something like if you haven't seen if you haven't been out in the backwoods. Sorry, I just got to get the right pictures up here. Where's my photo? It's gone. Well. This is what it looks like. It's lovely out there. And this is what it looks like at night. It's lovely. Backwoods camping involves campsites that are something like this. Basically, there's nobody near you. If anybody, I always like to say, if anybody can hear you scream, you're too close to civilization. You're literally, there's only like 4 or 5 campsites per lake. And you are, in the middle of nowhere. So you hike it all in and you hike it all out. You do that via, canoes. We had a support crew in canoes, which means we had to go through portage routes. If you've never portaged a canoe, this is what it looks like. Pack on the back, you throw a canoe in your head, and you walk for, half a mile or however long it takes to get between the different lakes. And the purpose, while you're out the way, you got to protect your food at night. So this is us hanging our food in a bear hang. You got to put a tree. It's not just for bears. It's probably more the raccoons. They're very crafty, those guys, and squirrels and everything else. You don't want them coming after your food. So you hang it up in a tree. Well, you actually hang it between 2 trees off of a rope system that everybody ends up perfecting on their own over time. With the guys at a campsite after a long day swimming, and last but not least, that's sort of what we look like. That was my buddy coming in. You can see him behind me there. He's coming in from his swim. I'd already got in at the end of this lake with our support canoer behind us with the gear. So I don't know what you guys did this weekend, but that was my weekend. So you guys had a good one as well and did something worthwhile. That's memorable. So we did not see any moose or bear. Didn't see anything bigger than a loon. Actually, that's not true. We did see a couple of heron. They are very large birds, but that was about it. So there you go. So that's my weekend. I want to see a slideshow from. There was another weekend going on in the bear bull trading community because Andrew and Brian were out visiting Jared. So hopefully they had a lot of fun. There you go. See, they had a very different type of weekend, buying party hats. But it was that was what their weekend consisted of. So yeah, lots of stuff happening in our community. Alberto, you're asking the water temperature. Actually, it was very warm, very warm. The water temperature was, I don't know what it was, probably about, I have no idea. It was warm. I don't even want to guess, but it's been a very warm summer, so that means that the water temperature is good. But what we're worried about is stocks right now, and we got to look and see what's happening in the stock market. Let's start with the economic calendar. Pretty light today. The only thing we have on the calendar, frankly, is the U.S. monthly federal budget, which I still love. The U.S. monthly federal budget deficit is larger than the entire Canadian budget. But anyways, this month it's forecasted to be negative $241 billion. That means that's how much the government is expected to overspend in the past month. That number will be announced and will come out at 2 o'clock today. But that's it. Nothing else. So we're going to have to live off of what's happening in the markets and what's gapping. We have not really many earnings. I have two that I can talk to you about, but that's really about it. So yeah, if we look at the gappers list, we got a lot of stuff that's gapping up, a few things that are gapping down, and we'll take a look through the highlights here and see what we've got. Hopefully at some point, by the way, Carlos will get his connection working and he will pop on.
Good morning.
But if not, you guys are stuck with me all morning. All right, so let's start with this
Peter,
gap.
can you hear me?
Hey, Carlos, I can hear you.
How are you, man?
He's here. He's alive.
Got it going. Yeah, I am alive and well. How are you, my friend? I was hearing some of your recap there from your trip, man. You survived, so nice. Very nice.
I did survive. I am very sore this morning, as you could imagine. It's a lot of swimming. 27 kilometers total route, of which 22 was in the water. The other 5 was like lugging canoes and gear over portages. So yeah, it was a good weekend though. I mean, but it was exhausting.
Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. All right, good stuff, man. Yep, I am firing things up over here. Gonna get our scanners. I see you have it up already, so we can actually start with those right there. Doesn't look too good this morning on these scanners, but we'll see what's going on. All right, let me just where's my scanners here? TradingTerminal.com. And we'll get rocking and rolling. I'm still in a very temporary setup. It's going to be like this probably for the rest of this week.
How's did you dry out the basement? Well, I missed it. What's going on with you?
No, basement is good. Basement had a little bit of leak, not much like I've seen other places. So my main damage was just my office. And over the weekend, we had a team of people here. I mean, like a football team, just kind of breaking things down and redoing everything. So that will be pretty good shortly. All right, excellent. I got let me see your gappers list. Why mine looks more than yours? The one you had a lot less. Do I have something different than yours?
I don't know. It seems to be changing very dynamically. My gappers list is getting stuff on it.
Yes, yeah, we'll look into that. All right, friends, let's jump right in. Good morning, happy Monday. Let's look at the first one on here. I have GNLN this morning. I don't think I ever seen this ticker before. Greenland Holdings, so I'm not sure what that is about. But it's rocking, man. We have a 1.4 million shares traded. It is up 225%. So that's a whopping number there. Peter, any news on this? Just got going this morning.
Well, this is listed as a tobacco company, Greenlane, as you say. I've never heard of it either, but apparently they've got a new contract. They announced a non-binding letter of intent to be the exclusive distributor in the U.S. of safety strips, which allows you to test for high-risk opiate drugs like fentanyl, xyloxine, and drink spike detection test strips. So the so-called date rape drug stuff. So anyways, it's non-binding, but if they're going to be exclusively allowed to distribute in the US, that would be a big market for them and a big opportunity. So they're jumping on that news. I don't know, man. This is what is their float? Like, this is a 500,000 share float company with a $1.3 million market cap. This goes into your high risk, low float bucket for sure. So if you like it, by all means, it might be trading and active today. What's the I haven't even looked. What's the volume so far this morning?
1.9 means.
Yeah, so it's got volume and it is moving. Like it actually looks good so far in the last 20 minutes. Anyways, it looks good, but it's not exactly the type of thing I normally trade.
Yep. Same here. I think I'll put on the risky pile just for entertainment purposes. So I'm going to just slam it on here. GNLN. I mean, it's nice to see something rip like this. Not that I'm going to trade it, but want to see where this ends. All the flags are on this. Hard to borrow. Is that SSR as well? So you don't have inventory to short on this one with interactive brokers. All right, let's take a look at the next one. RVNC. So RVNC today we're up 85%. This looks like a bio, but it could not be. We've seen a few that look weird. So it might not be a bio actually at the moment. Look at the level 2, the montage. It's got some weird stuff on there. S.TKO and some symbols. Not sure what that means. Peter, anything on this? I doubt it, but maybe.
Well, it's sort of like a buyout. They apparently are in a merger agreement with Crown Laboratories. So this merger agreement would have basically they sort of. I'm trying to figure out if Crown is publicly traded. Crown would acquire all outstanding shares of Revenant's common stock at $6.66 per share cash. Odd choice of price, 666. Not normally a number people go after, but okay. Anyways, so the price is moving towards $6.66, which means it's probably not that tradable.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm going to leave this one alone. Let's take a look at the next one. Here is going to be Key, KEY, and more movement on this one. Up 3%, up 17% right now. Sorry, up 17%, 3 million shares trade. There we go. I got that out finally. So we got some movement on here, but it doesn't. Is this what company is this? KeyCorp.
KeyCorp
doesn't look they trade very well.
No.
But anything on this one?
There's some Canadian news here. KeyCorp, I guess it's a smaller bank. They had an investment position taken by the Bank of Nova Scotia, which is one of Canada's big 5 banks. And it was about a $2.8 billion deal, so representing just under 15%. So they don't have voting rights, but they basically just went right under that level. So that's why that we see them jump a little bit. Again, mid-range banks, they're iffy to trade. So I don't, probably will not be putting it high on my list. Not probably, definitely will not be putting it high on my list.
Yeah, there are a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's
Carlos,
move on
you're
to the
looking
next
good
one.
this morning. Can I just
Yeah,
say
I am.
look
When
at
I got
that.
the cat, man, I'm always looking good.
Yeah, you're looking soft and fluffy.
Yeah. Far from all of that, but yes, I am looking very nice in that picture. Let's take a look at EXPD is next, and this is Expeditors. This should not be on here, so we'll move on to the next one. Let's just move down to the next one, guys. TCBK. Man, should not be on here. Okay, ONB. All right, we'll stop here. Let's stop here. This is just makes no sense. All right, let's anything else, Peter, on the gap up? I know it's a lot of nonsense here right now. We just got to figure out why that's happening. But anything you like on your end on the gap up?
Yeah, well, down on the list we do have Robinhood. It's on the list again today. Hood, HOOD. They did get an upgrade this morning, which got them on the list. Some of the analyst group thought that they were undervalued, and there's a buy opportunity as the price can move up from its current price back up to $23, $24. So that was one that I was looking at. And the only thing of earnings that I was looking at is, just because it was humorous, there's really not a lot of earnings today, by the way. We're very much at the tail end of this earnings season. But Monday.com. Monday.com always announces on a Monday, and I guess it makes sense. MNDY is their ticker. And they had a good quarter. I used to watch this because I thought, sort of like one of the tech stocks, it would trade well. It does not. So it's up 10%, but on very low volume this morning. So probably not going to be that tradable. Meaning that their average daily volume is only about 500,000 shares. It just doesn't trade well. But it amused me that Monday.com announced on this Monday. So there you go. That's all I had. No other earnings of note. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff out there, but Barrick Gold reported, but and a few others, but yeah, it's nothing tradable. What I was keeping an eye on, some of the stuff that is gapping up this morning. It looks like most of the semiconductors are gapping up, and I like that. I mean, not by much. AMD, Nvidia, pick whichever one you want. They're once again moving. Nvidia's already got 4 million shares traded. AMD's a lot lower at only 200,000. That's actually lower than they normally
It's
trade.
very low.
So yeah, that's looking pretty low. But Nvidia, as usual, looking good with its volume so far this morning. And then in the in sort of the Magnificent Seven, as they call them, I see Apple and Amazon and Microsoft all gapping up this morning a little bit. So generally it looks like a pretty standard Monday when you don't have a lot of news, right? The things just sort of gap up a little bit. We got a little bit of volume. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a sort of quieter start to the day without a crazy open. That gives opportunity for good moves later on in the morning. The stuff that I like most. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I got on the gap up list.
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna put Nvidia on deck this morning. Again, volume looking awesome right now, 4 million at the moment, so that looks nice. And I'm sure you guys are going to be naming a lot of more usual suspects that we'll take a look at in a second here. Let's see what's gapping down. We'll look at the top 5. Hopefully, there's not a lot of madness there. I do see sticking out of the list here is going to be Mara, Riot, and a couple of Bitcoin plays. So we'll see what's going on with those. But let's start with the first one, RILY, this morning. These guys are up 40%, down 40%, 800,000 shares traded, and hard to borrow at the moment.
Yeah, they've been on our list occasionally in the past. I've seen them. This is B. Riley Financial Inc. It's a specialty financial company. They basically announced that one of their investments, FRG, is their investment in FRG is in trouble. So Franchise Group Inc. Is in turn that stock. I don't know if the ticker is their ticker FRG. No, so I don't know I don't even know if they're publicly traded, but an investment they made in Franchise Group Inc. anyways is not doing well, and they may lose the value of that investment as this U.S. retailer struggles. So that's bringing down Riley again. It's one of those ones I got to say, I don't think it's going to provide trading opportunities today. I'm just going to move past it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Although this pre-market looking very active as far as down 42%. I just don't think you're going to get good trading out of it. Could be a hit or miss. It could be completely wrong. And it could be the best stock this morning. But right now, the signs are not showing any of that. And it's hard to borrow, too. So that's not helping its case at the moment. PCRX, if I can type that correctly, it's going to show us it's down 1.6 this morning. Should not be on this list. Only 182,000 shares traded. I got to check my filters. I was blaming the scanners, but maybe my filters are off. So
I don't know, Carlos. We have had some issues with the scanners. I know that a couple members are asking about it, so we're gonna have to talk to the team and get them worked out, because I don't know what's going on, but.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out. Let's go down to the next one. So we'll just skip right through this, guys. We'll spend no time on it because it should not be something we'll be looking at. Hawaiian Electric. We've seen this before a couple of weeks back, gapping up. If you guys remember this, mid-July, and today we're down 14%, 279,000. I wish there was a way to go back to the daily right at this point, but I'm not sure how to do that. There's just got to be a way. I got to figure it out to see how I trade it. But most likely, it didn't trade that well. These stocks, even when they have news, they don't trade very well, Peter. Not sure there's any news now, or it's just coming back from the highs that it had just the last couple of weeks.
No, they did have some news. If you remember, the only time we ever looked at Hawaiian Electric was after those massive fires that they had that were, very destructive right there in Hawaii. And obviously a big hit for them, as they were deemed to be at fault for those fires that took out a lot of homes and ruined a lot of property, as well as took some lives. They have taken multi-billion-dollar write-down and said basically they were not provisioned for that, and they've expressed some concern about their ability to continue ongoing operations as a result of that. So it's very rare that a utility, is basically risking bankruptcy. They're not there, but they've sort of said, they're struggling. They got to figure out how to refinance and keep things going. So that warning is what's bringing it down and got a little bit of the volume up for it to be on our radar this morning.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't like it. Gonna keep it off the list as well. Let's head down over to JetBlue. JetBlue down today at 10%. So decent drop for them here. 558,000 shares traded. I'm not sure if it's news driven, Peter. I know the airlines, many of them reported. I don't think this one is reporting, but what's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, I haven't looked at JetBlue. Let's see what JetBlue is doing. Let's see. Well, it looks like they're going to be raising more debt. They need some money, so they're going to raise about $3 billion through some additional debt offerings, which is always bad news for existing stockholders because that means it's going to dilute the value of their current holdings. They're 3.15 billion is what they say they're going to raise through two separate debt offerings, and that's going to happen between now and the fall. They're not in trouble. Well, at least they don't say so. They just need some cash, so they're issuing more debt. So, again, JetBlue, unfortunately, it goes in the bucket with the other stuff I've been talking about. It never seems to trade very well. I mean, maybe today's when it gets the volume, but I don't know. What are we looking at this morning? We're only looking at 570,000 shares. Again, it's just not enough, right? I need over 1 million pre-market for me to, put it on my list and get interested.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to move down to the next one here. It's going to be, we have a couple. We have Mara, we have RILY. Actually, I don't see Coin. I thought Coin would have been hanging out here with Bitcoin. But as usual, we were waiting for this to move last week, but these guys love to move into the weekend. Not sure if they had a big weekend or not. I have not looked at their stock as overall Bitcoin, but they're down 4.2, 1 million shares traded. RILY is also down quite a bit here. And if we take a quick look at Coin, what is Coin up to? Because that's one of my favorites. Also down slightly. With not that much volume. So, Peter, on Bitcoin overall, do we have anything going on there?
This seems to be with the bucket with all of the crypto. They seem to be down this morning. Now, crypto prices didn't do that much over the weekend. I was looking at it just a little while ago. I mean, they did dip over the weekend a little bit, but they've bounced back so far this morning, down overall, I guess, but not by much. I mean, we're talking about the 59.9 right now. 59,900 is the price for Bitcoin. Seems to be fairly stable considering we can get these massive moves on the weekend. I don't know. I'm not sure why there's such a big reaction from all the crypto companies. So it's I don't know. Again, these one, Carlos. I don't know. Sometimes you say you like to watch them. Have you traded them at all in the last couple of weeks?
Not recently. No, we went through a stretch where they were really good, and if you can see it right here, it was in February, right? This entire stretch, they were really good. There's a lot of movement in the weekend. They were trading well. The coin was very nice during these days. Had a lot of continuation, but lately, no, we have not seen it trade anything like it was before. So there's still some opportunities. Like look at this day here, right? 160 to 190. So even Mara, a lot of people like Mara. There's some days where that trades a little bit better. But look at this, to your point. This went through a stretch in between May and July where it did nothing. Like, look at this here. It's just brutal. So yeah, they have not been great.
Now, I do see some news this morning. Apparently, there was a proposed rule change put out by the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, that would affect the crypto industry. And some of the crypto players, the executives of the crypto firms, have come out against it, saying it's too broad and will constitute an overreach. It's always dangerous when you tell an oversight committee like the CFTC that your proposed rule is an overreach. That usually emboldens them to do such a thing, because of course there's always a fight, right? Most companies out there want as little government oversight and interference, as they would put it, as possible. And of course, the job of a commission is to provide oversight and controls as they see it. So there's always a fight between those two organizations. And again, usually the government wins because they set the rules. Whether people follow them or not is a whole nother question. But anyways, so I think maybe with these proposed changes, by the way, they've not gone into place. These are just proposed changes. It could be that's why we're seeing, the crypto companies move down. Because again, the whole theory was that Bitcoin is unmanaged by governments. It's supposed to be independent of all of that and above all of this regulation and controls. But increasingly, of course, they're falling victim to the controls in every country in which they try and operate. So what do you expect? That's what's going to happen. That's what, again, all of these agencies are designed to do. So that's probably the news that's moving this stuff more than the actual Bitcoin price this morning.
Yeah, agreed. Leaving these alone right now. Again, just don't see anything too great on it at the moment. Heading back to our list, let's take a look at a few more. NARI. No, we'll just skip right through that. And RILY we did look at. MAS. No, okay, we'll stop here. All right, Peter, anything on the gap down that you like this morning?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything on my gap down list. It was generally an up day. It was interesting. I mean, the only thing that I noticed was interesting. I said the Magnificent Seven. Most of them are going up. Meta and Tesla are the only two that are gapping down, and that is just they're barely gapping down. But they're certainly showing more weakness than the rest. Tesla has a little bit lower volume than we've seen in the last little while. I mean, they still have 1 million shares traded pre-market, but that feels a little lower than typically. So I'm not sure what that means for Tesla. I mean, they've been going into a very narrowing range. If you look at the daily chart on Tesla, look how the daily price has been narrowing over the last week. So it's got to break out one side or the other. Right now, it looks like it's actually ready to break out to the top side, despite the fact that it's narrowing and it's red a little bit. But we'll see what happens at the open. So I think I'm going to keep an eye on Tesla just to see what it's going to do.
Yeah, I do like Tesla this morning. 1 million shares traded right now. Again, I agree, lighter than usual, but I mean, for this Monday, this is looking great. Tesla's looking awesome because not a whole lot there that looks pretty this Monday morning, which is okay. I think this week and next week are big travel weeks for families. So you might see a little downturn. You might see more of that summer type trading unless we get some news, right? So this week and next, and before the kids go back to school in September, people kind of settle back down in September. All right, let's take a look, friends, over on YouTube and our chat. Let's take a look at what you guys like this morning and see what we're going to be looking at today. So we'll start with our chat room here, guys. What do you like this morning? What do you want us to look at? Oh, hold on. I have an echo. There we go. Had to stop an echo. All right. So in our chat room this morning, taking a look here, gold. I don't trade gold. GOLD. It is in play today. I don't usually trade this one. You had news on it today, Peter, right? You mentioned?
Yeah, I just mentioned it in passing. They did have earnings this morning. They beat their numbers. They had a good quarter. Again, I just don't like trading it. Like, I don't know. This whole sector, right? Mining and minerals, I mentioned in the past. They're just, for whatever reason, they just don't trade very easily. So I usually skip by them. Even the pre-market action, you can see it doesn't look great. So
yeah.
They do have they did have the earnings. They have news. So if you like it, then don't let us dissuade you from it. But it doesn't meet my personal trading style.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of more of that breakout momentum type trader. And if you for example, look at Friday, and again, I'm not picking the best example, but this is typically what it looks like, even when it has news, even when it's in play. It doesn't give you clean movement, very light volume. There's a 5-minute candle. The one is going to look worse. So it's just difficult to find that type of play, right? All right, let's jump in here to see what else you guys like this morning. I see PLTR being thrown here on our chat by Fred L. PLTR this morning has 1 million shares traded. Daily looks good, and we got a nice breakout on this last week. So last week, nice breakout there, a little bit of a continuation, not by much on Friday, and today has 1 million shares traded. We've seen more for sure, but might be worth adding to the list as a secondary, maybe. I mean, the way today's going, this could be on our main list very easily. So secondary for now. Let's take a look. Nothing else in our chat, so not a whole lot you guys like this morning. Let's see over in our YouTube chat. Good morning, guys on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Hit it for the cat, hit it for the gappers list, hit it for Peter, hit it for whatever you like, but hit the button. It's highly appreciated. 137 or 521. Yeah, with 521 viewers. So thank you. That number has increased. So thank you guys for the support. We really appreciate you guys tuning in every morning and kind of joining us here for the pre-market prep. So appreciate that. And the live trading right after this with Brian and Andrew, if they survive New Orleans.
Yeah, I
In our
assume.
YouTube chat. Yeah, go
I don't
ahead.
know. Are they back? Are they still on the road? I don't even know what their
Uh,
status is right now.
I
Any
don't know
idea?
what their status is. I did speak to Jared. So
Huh.
Jared is going to be ready to go 10:30 today. We're going to be having a
Oh,
chat
awesome.
with Jared, and hopefully has some pictures to show us. All right, let's take a look here. Microsoft by
Okay.
Mary G. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. We're pretty much flat. We do have 1 million shares traded right now, but not a whole lot of movement. So again, I think this is something we just kind of have to wait for there, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Um, I'm not gonna add it to the list. Sorry, I got distracted. Jared just texted me a picture of him, Brian, and Andrew. I'm not gonna share it. I'm gonna let him share when he comes on. That looks very exciting there. Airborne Adventure. So stick around for that. All right, let's take a look at
Okay.
PLTR. Yeah, PLTR. We did look at already. That is on deck. Meta this morning. The bat phone is ringing. We'll see if they can give us any better tickets than we have right now. So Peter will let us know in a second. Meta right now is flat, 100,000 shares trade. That's just not a whole lot going on. Not really in play, guys. Today, can you still watch that one? Absolutely. And we have Apple here. Apple, again, not really in play either. Just not a whole lot going on. Volume is light. Yeah, it's one of those days, guys, where there's just not a whole lot happening as far as movement, even with our usual suspects. The only one, NVIDIA and Tesla. Anything else showing that type of volume? I mean, not Apple, not AMD. It's a very Monday-like day today. One more here from
Good thing it's a
IBIT.
Monday then.
I think it's a Monday. We can if we start this bad, we can expect the rest of the week to be better. So that's always that's always something to look forward to. IBIT, no, nothing happening there. Last one, then we'll head over to community events and announcements, where we know there we actually do have some things happening. FTJ, that's not coming up. Does that mean something? And not a ticker? FTJ, nope, nothing's coming up there. Let's go to this one instead. ATO, ooh, no. We haven't rolled the garbage truck today. It won't be fair to roll it out on you, Vanya, but we will roll the garbage truck on this one here. But we're gonna tie in the gappers list on this truck as well, because the gappers list did not look pretty at all this morning. So
Yeah, and we had a couple members who are using the trading terminal gappers list. There is a data issue with one of our providers. The team is very well aware of it and is actively working on it. So just wanted to let you know, we know that it's not showing us exactly what we want. It's not bad. I mean, it gives us a list. It just gives us more than what we expect, because it's not filtering out on some of the volume cues. So apologies for that. But again, team is actively working on that. We had some reports in from Mike, who's working with the team, and he confirmed that they are very aware, very concerned, and actively working with our providers. So
awesome, that makes perfect sense. All right, that's going on. All right, we'll figure something out. Maybe for the next couple of days to fix, we'll find an alternative there that we can use. That's not going to be better than tradingterminal.com, but for now, we'll find something to make it easier for us here as we go through this list. All right, and what else? I think that covers it. Let's go to community event and announcement. See what's coming up for the next 2 weeks, starting with this Monday onboarding class tonight. So be on the lookout for that at 8 p.m. Peter, take it away.
yeah, well, we actually have two new classes for our new members that we typically do on Mondays. As Carlos mentioned, we got the onboarding class that happens at 8 o'clock. That's for any member of Bearable Traders at any activity or membership level. So hopefully you'll join that. It's a great way to get oriented with the community and everything that we have to offer. We also have a second one that happens at noon. That's earlier today, noon during market trading hours. Once again, in the onboarding room or the classroom, gives you an opportunity to get familiar with DAS Trader, if that's a tool you use, and you just have some questions. People often have configuration questions. It's a great tool for trading. Not always obvious how to configure it and get the most out of it. So it can be a good learning session if you want to join there and get information on how to set it up and manage it. So those are the two today, noon and 8 o'clock. And then we'll just go through the week for you so you know what to expect. Tuesdays, we always talk strategy and trade book. And this Tuesday, like most Tuesdays, we are this Tuesday, I guess that's tomorrow, we are going to be talking about a strategy topic. This time, Thor is taking the lead and going to talk about the how you can. So he's got 3 parts to his trading strategy, right? The where, the when, and the how. He talks about it all the time, and he trades very, very professionally and very effectively using sort of his high level strategy with a lot of course, details underneath it. He's going to explain those details in his webinar tomorrow night at 8 p.m. The week after, we've got a new presenter, and Bruce Pringle is going to talk about how you can get order flow insights using Bookmap. Bookmap is a tool that not only Thor uses, but many others. And if you want to understand how it works, that's an early webinar, okay? So next Tuesday's webinar is going to be at 11 a.m. versus the regular 8 p.m. time. So take note of that. Put it in your calendar so you don't miss that, because that's during market hours. But we had a webinar before with Bookmap. We sort of gave you a high-level overview. Very, very successful. So we thought we'd do it again. Bruce Pringle has agreed to come and deliver that for us. So we look forward to that session. Wednesdays, we talk psychology. This Wednesday, Mike himself is going to be talking about how you can develop a solid process to enhance your psychology. It's very, very important. Trading is mostly psychology, right? You'd think it's the market. If you can understand the technicals, you can win at this game. It's not the case. The technical stuff is important, absolutely, but that's just like entry stakes. Everybody, does a technical analysis. Everybody understands what they're looking at from a data perspective just to get in the door. If you really want to excel and make money over the long term, then you need to manage your psychology, and these psychology sessions on Wednesday will help you with that. Mike will help you this Wednesday, 8 o'clock with his session, and then the week after, on August the 21st, Randy Howell's taking over, telling you how to deal with your demons. I did a presentation a while back. I haven't done it for a few years on trading and dealing with your demons. We all have them, right? Whatever your Achilles heel is, whatever your demon is, it's something you need to manage. He's going to talk in general how you can face them and then overcome them, because you have to be successful over the long run. So those are our 2 psychology sessions this and next week. Our Thursday mentorship sessions continue as always, starting with John at 11 a.m., moving to Jared and Megan at 2 p.m., talking options. Lenny takes over the airwaves right at the close at 4 p.m., and then Thor does his ever popular Thursday night session at 8. So there you go. Those are the sessions that we've got. I will say all of the training sessions, right, the psychology and the strategy, are recorded and available for our members. The mentorship, we don't. We just end up, JJ, I know you're asking if we could record Lenny's session. We just end up with so much material that it frankly creates confusion and doesn't add value, frankly, at the end of the day. But we also want to make sure people join live. It's mentorship, right? The whole point is to be there and ask your questions. So apologies if it's a time that's not convenient for you, but those mentorship sessions are not usually recorded, whereas the strategy and psychology sessions are recorded. All right, so there you go. That's what's available for our members. If you want to get more information about our membership options at Bear Bull Traders, you just go there, bearbulltraders.com. It's the place to go, and you can find out all that you need to know, and especially if you want to join us. We still have our $1 deal going. So if you wanted to join us, you're on YouTube, you like what you see, you want to try and be part of the chat room just to see what that's like, then you can do it one time. We only charge the $1 to keep away the bots and the spammers. If you wanted to join, try it out. It's well worth the $1 in your time. We promise you, by the way, you're not going to get inundated then with a buy our membership. Join. You want to join? We'll automatically renew. That's not how we operate. We really want you to join and see if it's the right community. If it's not, then great, right? No harm, no foul. We'd love to have you with us for the week anyways. But if you try it out, we think you will be impressed and you'll want to join. It's a great community, a great place to help get support in your trading journey. So check us out. And if you like it, then you can use any of these other membership options you see on the screen. All right, so that's what we got for this morning. Carlos, I think we can go set some levels, and then we're going to see what our moderators are looking at. We're going to get ready for this open. It may be slow in terms of the number of things we got, but as I said, I actually love these days because it gives me a chance to sort of scan the markets and see what's going to be moving after the open for some good trades throughout the day. I often get my best days on days like this, so looking forward to today.
Nice, man. Looking for you having a great day here. Yeah, list is light, guys. On my list, I only have NVIDIA, Tesla, PLTR and GNLN just as entertainment purposes. That thing is up almost 300% right now with 6.4 million shares traded. What's the float on this? Did we discuss that? Yeah, it's like 500,000 is the flow. So again, very, very
500,000
low
shares.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, be very, very careful with that thing.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
moving
friends.
sideways right now. I know Jared in
Yeah.
the chat room said he was trying to trade it and he was having trouble getting some fills on it. So I'm not surprised with the float being so low and it's hard to borrow. So it's not shortable. You're going to get a little bit of restriction in terms of share availability. So yeah, be careful
Yeah.
if you're trying. You might get something unexpected on this one.
Yeah. Given that I only have NVIDIA and Tesla, I am going to move up PLTR. So I'll move that up to my main list. There'll be no secondary list today, just NVIDIA, Tesla, and PLTR. And I'm sure, again, we'll see what our moderators are looking at in a second, but we'll look at our usual suspects, Apple and those other tickers as the day goes by and see where the action is. NVIDIA definitely has action, guys. We're up 1.4 on this thing, 4.9 million shares traded. 106.04 is the 106.45 is the high of the pre-market right now, so we'll mark that there. Towards the bottom, previous day close, and you got highs and lows for the last 2 trading days on NVIDIA down here as well. The only one towards the bottom that I feel like we should mark is 158. So 158 here should be a good one, and then towards the top is going to be this level at 108.74. I think this would be great as well. So once we do that, we are pretty much set on NVIDIA. Heading down to Tesla this morning, also just wrapping itself around the previous day close and not doing a whole lot. But right now, high of the pre-market, we're looking at 202.56, so we'll put a level there. And then above that, we're looking at somewhere around 207.57. Not really a big level. There's really not a lot there. The next big level is this one here at 215. I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll mark it down just so we have it ready. That is the next big level when it comes to Tesla towards the top. Towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market, just below the previous day close at 198.71. So once you mark that there, you're set. Then your highs and lows are doing an amazing job here on the daily. They pretty much got you covered. So nothing else to do there on Tesla. Last but not least for me is going to be PLTR. So PLTR towards the top, we're looking at high of the pre-market, 30.40. Towards the bottom, the low is pretty much right on the previous day close. You don't have to do anything, so that's set for you there. Had a big day last week and did continue a little bit on to Friday. We'll see if today has any type of breakout volume. I know it's 1.1 million, but this is actually lighter for PLTR when they are heavily in play. That can be easily 2 to 3 million shares traded in the pre-market. So a little bit lighter than usual, but that's pretty much everything except NVIDIA this morning. If we go to, when was the last time PLTR was up here? Is this now all-time highs, right? I don't think so. Maybe. No, we've been here before. We're going back to 2020 December levels here. We have another one at 33.43, up at 35.73, and just in case, I mean, this will be a stretch, but 37.97 in case we really get going here on a PLTR. So there you have it. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, doing really good. Just one area where it's right in here, you have a lot happening. So just got a couple of days slamming into a couple of prices. I'm going to mark down 28.42. So I just picked everywhere I see the most slamming into. You got a couple of days opening, closing, bouncing off of that. So around 28.42. Again, this will be an area so you can kind of cover some of the top and bottom here. It doesn't have to be to the penny, but I think that would be an important area if we do decide to drop down below the previous day close and even lower. That's something you want to have on there. And that covers my list. Let's see what our moderators are watching today. I see a lot of tickers. I see Brian's got his list ready, so that means he's ready to rock and roll this morning. Let's take it away.
Indeed. I was in first with my list. I'm really keeping it tight today with AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla. I might keep an eye on Hood just to see if it does anything interesting, and then I'll watch the trading terminal scanners to see what they bring up. We do have no IPOs and SPACs today. It's a Monday. That's typical, right? We don't typically get any releases today, so going to be quiet on that front. Megan is going to be watching NVIDIA and Tesla, Mike, NVIDIA, and Microsoft. Thor, sort of the usual suspects, right? Tesla, which he loves to trade. He and Paris both love trading Tesla all the time. The market indices and, of course, his futures. Jared's going to be watching Tesla and GNLN. We've been talking about that this morning. Again, a little hard to get shares on that, but I mean, it's moving. It's just a high risk because it's 500,000 share float. Just keep that in mind if you want to try and trade it. Pierre's going to be watching Tesla, Amazon, NVIDIA, and PLTR. Lenny's in with his list watching Tesla, NVIDIA, Mara, HE, that's Hawaiian Electric, and Starbucks. Starbucks did have some news this morning. I didn't mention them. I didn't love the volume, but they did have some news. And it looks like Lenny's put it on his list. The volume is pretty low this morning, under 100,000, but hopefully he gets something good on it. And Brian coming in with NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, PLTR, GNLN, and TTD, the trade desk. We haven't looked at that this morning. It doesn't look like it's doing much. Not sure why it made his list, honestly, but it looks like it gapped up on Friday. I was in a lake at that time. But anyways, it's Brian is going to watch it. He'll let us know if it moves. Paris is going to be trading NVIDIA, Key. We did look at that. KeyBank, KEY, Tesla, TSM, and PLTR. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, and Tesla. And Megan has decided to add Key to her list. I don't think, Key has got some volume. So maybe I'll put that on one of my lists as well, just because if Megan and if Megan and others are watching it, then I figure I don't want to miss out, right? Paris and Megan usually know what they're talking about. So there you go. Those are our moderator list for today. Hopefully out of that, you can pick something that you also like to watch. And if you join us in our chat room, right, we'll be actively calling these out as we see them. You'll get an opportunity to see as they trade, not only with Andrew and Brian, who are going to be trading live this morning, but all our other moderators usually post what they're looking at in the room, as well as, of course, the rest of our members who are always letting us know what they're doing. So should be a good trading morning, despite the sort of the slow start. I think Andrew and Brian are trading live. Again, we don't know where they are. Did they make it back to Vancouver? Are they still hiding out somewhere in maybe a dark alley in somewhere in the south? We're not sure. Yeah. We hope that they're okay and good and able to trade. But if not, we'll have other traders for you. We're not going to leave you high and dry. We'll always be trading live. By the way, if you're on YouTube, you get to see part of the picture. Andrew shows his live trades in the chat room. You sort of see the stock that he's trading, and he'll talk it out loud. But you only get sort of the trades on the screen when you join the chat room. And hopefully you'll consider doing that. It's again, I'm looking forward today. Maybe I'm just feeling good because I came in from the wilderness. I gotta say, I love being out there. It's so different sitting in front of your computer, especially I haven't been out there in a while, and it was good to be backwoods camping. Yeah, like literally there is no technology. Like you don't understand how different it is when you go out and there's no cell phone connection out there. There was no sound of traffic or planes or there's nothing, right? And you've got to survive with what you're carrying. It's just it's a whole different world, and I absolutely love it. So if you've never been to Algonquin Park, by the way, honestly believe one of the best parks in the world, some of the cleanest water. It's great. And I said the water was warm. Like I spent 8 hours a day for the last 3 days in the water without any problem. So it was that warm. And so yeah, it's awesome time. Anyways, and the bugs, very little bugs, quite surprisingly. So anyways, which was good because then at night when we were out, there is nothing. Carlos, I don't know if you ever gone backwoods, but when you get rid of all light pollution, and you're able to look up at the stars, like you see the full profusion of stars in the Milky Way. There's nothing like that. If any of you out there don't know what I'm talking about and you've never done it, you have no idea what you're missing. It gives you a whole different perspective of our world, at least in my point of view. So anyways, absolutely worth doing. Go out at night. My favorite thing is floating in a very calm lake, just looking at the stars and just doing nothing, man. Just looking at the stars. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. All right. Anyways, let's get to some trading.
And if you
this is how I make the money to do that.
There you go. We got a couple of parks that are pretty good. We got Harmon Park, we got Catskills, a lot of great trails, Appalachian Mountains, and all the way up there. So just a lot of that. Done a few of those plenty of times, man. It's the best. If you haven't done it, you got to do it. Something you have to check off your list. You got to stay like 2 nights. Stay 2 nights. Do a hike.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah. You
Um,
get enough that you start to understand it, and get into the whole spirit of it, Carlos. I was getting back here, and it was one of those things where you realize sort of like your expectations of sanitation change a little bit. Like your hands are dirty,
the
you're eating dirt.
standards drop
Yeah,
a lot, that's for
I-
sure.
I'm I'm filtering water right out of the lake, and you put your filter
Yeah,
tablets
yeah,
in, or you use your carbon filter or whatever you're doing to filter the water just to make sure it's safe. But it's inevitable.
yep,
You're out in the
yep.
woods, man. Like bits of tree end up in your water. That's just what it's like,
Just
and
what it
it's
is.
perfectly
Yeah.
okay out there. Here in my house, totally unacceptable. Out in the woods, not a problem.
Yep, yep, absolutely. All right, friends. Brian and Andrew are going to be joined. Well, I know Brian is for sure. I see him on. We'll see if Andrew is going to join us as well, if they are doing well this morning. And then once they hop on, we'll hand it over to them. But right now, again, pretty light Monday, which doesn't mean the day is going to be light. Just right now, NVIDIA, Tesla, and PTR from me. And then you saw what the moderators are watching. Everybody has Tesla, right? So we all have Tesla on our list for the most part. So looking forward to see what that is going to do. And then NVIDIA also looking nice this morning, already up 1.5 with 5.5 million shares traded. For some reason, I feel like NVIDIA continues to break these numbers, man. It's like every pre-market is 5 million, 4 million all the time. So definitely high volume the last couple of weeks, looks like. Comment here to check. What is this? Becky. Check Becky. BEKE. I see.
EKE. I haven't looked at Becky in a while. It has been on our list in the past.
The name is KE Holdings on this one, huh? It's up 8.8, 354. I mean, I don't see anything great, to be honest. Not seeing anything overly exciting.
They have some news. They have announced a share repurchase program. That's usually a signal that a company thinks their stock is undervalued if they're willing to reinvest and buy their shares back. Or cynically, you could say it's just a way to boost up the stock price. But either way, that is the news on Becky this morning.
Yeah. All right. I see our good buddy Brian is in. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Oh, look at this.
Hey,
look at this.
Good morning, everybody. Freshly
Wow.
Nice.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
You got the vest going. You
Back.
got the hat. Oh, man.
And he's got the throat that's not quite back to normal yet.
Yeah, no kidding. All that screaming in the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way you should come back. If you come back with your voice intact, you did something wrong. So awesome.
So we did. I don't know. We did get back pretty late. Flight was delayed out of Denver. So some fueling problem with the plane. So I don't know what's Andrew brought a bunch of hats, and we were wearing them in the airport last night, and a couple of hats for his Burning Man adventure that's coming up. He said he was going to be on this morning, and he was going to wear the hat. So he said I had to wear one too. So anyway, maybe
maybe Andrew's not as good at getting up in the morning, so well, hopefully he'll make it. Let me send him a little poke right now.
Anyway, fun fact, Peter, did you know you should have been able to see the Andromeda galaxy from your vantage point?
I don't know if we did. We were watching for the Perseids, which is a meteor shower. So we did see a couple. You see a lot of satellites, and then you got to distinguish which are actual meteors. But we did see that out there. It was I
love seeing all the satellites.
Yeah,
see all those StarNet satellites.
Yeah, I didn't see. It's always impressive. Yeah, they get that big string right across the sky. Didn't see that when I was out there, but I'm sure they're up there.
Well, and the Andromeda Galaxy is actually on a collision course with the Milky Way. Something to be a little bit concerned about, but probably not going to collide with us for another 4.5 billion years. So we have a few years left here.
We got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 billion years, 5 billion years. Yeah. Well, on to more pressing matters. Wow. Was kind of looking at Hawaiian Electric too, HE, but it's oh man, it just took a real dive. Damn. I was hoping it might be maybe a rising devil, so I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that. Maybe might be something worth shorting on a pop. NVIDIA is testing Friday's high. So just share screen. I'll share a screen here. Yeah, so we had a good time in New Orleans. Had a full day yesterday. Got up early, went to the bayou, and then we went through there on a airboat.
Oh yeah.
Checking
wow.
Checking out our alligator friends.
Did you go wrestle a gator?
No, but they fed them marshmallows. So there you go. I guess
Marshmallows
instead of tourists.
Oh, you're gonna give those gators tooth decay.
I know. I know that's probably old hat for Thor. He probably sees those. He's probably got gators in his backyard here. So
He does actually.
yeah.
He's got a pond out of his backyard with a resident gator, apparently.
All right. Well, a lot of jerky price action on HE. Qs and the SPY are kind of selling off here. I've had some PLTR for pretty much more than a week now. It's had a nice run up here. What else? GNLN it's not looking great. Tesla's selling off. But Jared might find a way to trade it.
He was trying to trade this GNLN earlier. I noticed it's been moving sideways for the last half hour here.
Yeah, so it's
less than a minute away from the open.
Yeah, Tesla took a big drop here. I don't know. Not really. Not with all this movement right before the open. I don't know. Not crazy about stuff yet. I think it's going to be a good morning. Maybe just we'll watch for a few minutes. We'll see. If we get a pop on HE, I probably will look at shorting it. So we'll see what HE does. TTD, I was just kind of interested in it more from a swing trade because we've had a big move. So I'm just going to kind of watch it today and see if it continues or if we get some topping action. All right, here we go.
Well,
here is the bell. Nothing going on there. HE popping. NVIDIA's popping.
Little pop on HE.
Yeah. Tesla's popping, or yeah, HE's popping back up. NVIDIA's kind of breaking out here, but it's a little bit early to play it for OBR. AMD. NVIDIA's going to go. I'm just afraid chasing it here. See, what do we got here on Bookmap? It's going to come down and maybe fill this order. Let's just
short
see where
HE, taking a partial here.
Nice. Started watching NVIDIA. I missed that pop.
Here we go, taking another partial. I actually accidentally took a short on HE. I was just trying to get my trade ready, and I accidentally hit the button and got in. Got stopped out immediately as it was popping up. I've made all that money back now, and I've still got some good size here in HE. Let's see how far we can get on drop. There we go. Okay,
Yeah,
covering more.
I'm short with you. I know it's not a great entry, but just short at 1250. It's a terrible entry.
Oh no, what did I just do?
Yeah.
I accidentally added. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I'm hitting all the wrong keys today.
Okay, I got long NVIDIA on that pullback, 107.20. Let's see if we can get moved back up here. Here we go with NVIDIA. Still sticking with that HE short, which isn't really doing anything. Right. Here we go with NVIDIA. There we go.
NVIDIA doing? Oh, NVIDIA's popping up. HE.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. Just sold half there at 107.86. I think we're going to want to go to 108 here.
HE could go either way right now.
Yeah, not liking.
I'm sitting in my short. I said I accidentally added, which brought my break even closer into the price action than I had intended. I had a good entry originally.
Okay, so I'm selling some NVIDIA here. I'm selling 108.18.
I'll just post for our members my trade on HE. No, Mikey, I absolutely make mistakes. I made two mistakes on this trade. I said I got in one I didn't intend to, and then I added when I meant to partial. So both mistakes cost me. This would have been a much more profitable trade if I hadn't made either of those mistakes. But I mean, I made money overall, but not as much as I could have.
Okay, let's see what. Still have some NVIDIA here. There's orders at 108.50, 109, 109.50, 110. So we'll just, there goes GNLN. Here we go. So we're gonna go some more maybe here on NVIDIA.
What are you doing with NVIDIA? Let's see. You're going up through 108. What does a level 2 look like in NVIDIA? Have you got a...
Yeah, it looks pretty good. There's orders up there, 108.50.
Yeah, there's some orders sitting a little higher too. Yeah, we'll see if NVIDIA can get there. It's not, I mean, if you look at the market, the SPY and the Qs, I mean, we're not directional at all. We're very sideways on both. So that's problematic for a continuation move here on NVIDIA, but we'll see what it does.
So let's see what HE does. If it's kind of come down below here, you get a bit of a
look at that SPY chart. Like that's ugly. That shows you we got no market direction yet this morning.
What concerns me is this is a place where Thor might short NVIDIA, but I think it's still going to go here. We'll just
Looks like you can
stick
get
with it.
50.
Yeah. So the lucky hat's paying off.
I think it's the lucky vest.
It could be. Spending a lot of time here. I'm not really happy about that.
NVIDIA didn't get the momentum here. We might get into chop. HE, I think the trade is done in HE. I'm watching it, but I'm not likely to get back into it at all today.
No.
SPY finally dropped here below this range, so seeing a little bit lower. Qs are still in its range. It's tough to know where things are going to go. I'm sitting and watching now. I had my open trade in HE. It followed. Well, Brian, it was the Rising Devil that I was trading. And worked well.
I kind of started watching, got focused on NVIDIA and missed the Rising Devil trade on HE. For those of you that are wondering what the Rising Devil is, it's just a trade that we have and have used in the room over the years. Really, it's just involves a stock that's gapping down, and when they gapping down on news or whatever significant news, and when it pops up at the open, we go short, and usually the pop stops around the VWAP.
Yep.
In this case, it kind of pushed through it a bit, got to S4, and then sold off. All right, so just watching NVIDIA here, just going to see what it's going to do, but I'm not, it's sort of making lower highs, so I'm not particularly, So good trade on that. Still has some hope that we're going to at least maybe get back to 1250 on HE, so I'm just sitting with a small size there.
NVIDIA could go either way. If you've got a good entry on it, there's no harm in holding it to see. It's just tough to tell which way it's going to go. Very choppy. Very choppy. Market's moving down, however.
Yes. Yeah, the Q's in the SPY. The SPY is actually almost red. It's right at PDC. So I would almost expect a bit of a bounce here. All right. Well, we're just hanging out here, waiting. Still small. Have a small position left on NVIDIA. Have a small position on HE, which is red right now. Tesla's kind of bouncing up here. AMD's dropping. I think I might get out of NVIDIA. I'm not really liking the way it's trading here. And there's a big order at 107. Which we might end up gravitating to here. The VWAP is 107.30. Yeah, I'm out of that. out of NVIDIA. HE is starting to come down. It's coming back down to my, at least to my break even. Okay, no position on NVIDIA. Still thinking about, maybe I should cover my HE here and just take a small loss on it. Ooh, wow. Okay, I'm glad I got out of NVIDIA, because it does look like it's sort of the nature of the price action has definitely changed.
Yeah, it's dropping now. SPY's gone
AMD
red.
is,
The Qs have gone red too.
yeah, AMD has gone red. Andrew kept talking about his SOXL position that he had over the weekend. He wanted to, he was hoping it would be gapping up, which it kind of was at the open here. But we seem to have lost some altitude on it. Now it's red. I think he was hoping to pay for the for this trip on it based on his. Oh wow, PLTR. PLTR. Who did anyone catch PLTR? I kind of dropped off my radar, unfortunately.
Your HE almost got to 1250.
Nice.
It's bouncing again.
Nice, Jazz. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it looks like we've lost the VWAP on NVIDIA. AMD's at PDC, which would which may act as some support in the short term here. I have like I said, I have a swing position on PLTR, so I'm getting some of this move, getting the benefit of some of this move here. Do you have any trades on, Peter?
No. I just had the HE at the open, and now I'm going to sit and watch for my bigger late morning setups. So I probably won't be doing anything for the next 30 minutes at least.
So Thor.
Tesla would have been a good short actually at the retest of VWAP there and the failure. I missed that.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a loss on HE.
Look at Microsoft. Microsoft fell off here. Need a more lucky hat, Brian. Have you got another hat? You need to change up the hats.
I want to look at my PLTR position. I'm thinking maybe I should partial some here. Because it's sort of getting pretty extended as well.
Batman and Robin took PLTR. Excellent.
Okay, nice. I know Thor, I think you shorted the SPY, which was a nice, turned out to be a nice trade there.
Paris. Look at Paris shorting AMD. Oh, I love you, Paris. Yeah. Look at that. I like it when people Take money. So you had one. See, this is when you got conviction in a setup. You don't always get the timing right. Paris shared his trade here. It's great to look at. He had a first one that didn't work out. Tried again and got the timing better and was able to take full advantage. For people on YouTube, let me quickly let me share this just so you can see what we're talking about. This is the type of trading I love to see. Here we go. There you go. There's Paris's trade. You can see he had. Oh, no, that's not the trade I was looking for. One second. This one here. There it is. No, damn it! Why does it keep bringing that one up? Oh, that is. Oh, that's why I was looking at his earlier trade. Hold on a sec. He traded Tesla as well. Why am I not surprised? Paris also traded Tesla. He's always trading Tesla. Here we go. All right, this is the AMD trade I wanted to show you. See, because this is sort of what happened to me on HE. You sometimes you get in, right? You understand what you want to accomplish, but your timing isn't always perfect. He got in, got out, a nice tight stop, well managed. Got in again when he saw the conditions set up, and they got an excellent trade with partials all the way down. That's a very typical Paris type trade. It sort of looks like mine, although I said I did it by accident. This was my trade that I was talking to you guys about earlier on HE. You can see I got in. I actually didn't mean to. I got in by accident. Got stopped out immediately as this thing popped up. Shorted it again when I got above VWAP. Got my partials all the way down. I meant to actually partial here, accidentally added, which moved my break even lower and unfortunately caused me to get stopped out. I would have got stopped out the next minute anyways. So I'm actually happy with that trade on HE. So there you go. That's what a couple of us did. Myself and Paris traded this morning. This is what, sort of what we do in the room, right? It's great. Good opportunities.
Yes. Making it look somewhat easy, but you've got to have a plan, and you've got to trade your plan.
Exactly. It is not easy. In fact, I find it very difficult. It made it sound easy this morning, but for me, the discipline that I have to say that was my setup. I now don't have any setups for a little while, so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for things to settle and see if my bigger setups happen. Because for me, this is where I lose money, right? This time of day. Other people make lots of money because they're able to trade this opportunity. This is where I lose money. So this is why I sit on the sidelines and I wait for my next big opportunity.
Here comes, there goes AMD. Looks like it's going to maybe sink lower. Same with NVIDIA. Even though NVIDIA seems to be dropping a bit, it's still up $2 on the day. It's right now sitting at Friday's. It's right sitting at Friday's high. So we are above Friday's trading range. But, ran right into R4, and I know that's an area that Thor loves to short into.
He does. Microsoft was a great short if you were watching it, and you could see it was struggling at VWAP. If you're then able to read the market direction, because Microsoft was actually a couple minutes, about half a minute behind the market. Could have traded that short. Look at the drop, right? Look at those uncertainty candles sitting around 934, 935. Take the risk of VWAP. Even put a generous stop in there. Great trade. I like the look of that.
I'm going to take a bit of a long on NVIDIA at 107. Oh, there you go. That's nice. I'll take that.
Yeah, little instant pop.
Yeah. Looked like it was holding yesterday's high. Yeah. So I'm going to sell some here. I'm not, this isn't a trade I'm going to sit in for a long time. But we'll take half off at 107.44. And then we'll just use 107 as a stop. There is an order here. There is a level here at sort of 10. 107.80. Here we go.
You're getting more of a move.
Off. Yeah, going to take
good.
some more off here. 107.70. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, I like the way it, why I took that trade, just like the way it, the way NVIDIA looked like it was going to break down. We made a new low, but it immediately snapped back. It had been trying to hold this sort of 106.70 level, dropped a little below it, and it just turned into a false breakdown and then snapped back up. Those are usually pretty solid setups for, at the very least, for a scalp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Yeah, HE is finally selling off. Oh well.
We'll see if we can get below what it hit right there at the open. Bad news out of HE, out of Hawaiian Electric, so that's why it's on our radar this morning.
Yeah, that was a pretty heavily shorted stock at one point, and I think that pop was probably, it's hard to, it's a little bit more difficult to trade stocks that are heavily shorted because people will rush to cover shorts on a gap down. Like according to Trading Terminal, got about 110 million shares in the float. Excuse me. And then you've got about 27 million shares shorted. So, it's pretty close to a 25%, 24.5% short in the float.
Right.
So anything above 20% is usually considered a high short interest. So let's see what there is some order here up at 108. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if we're going to get there with NVIDIA, but let's see what she does here. There we go. We're popping back up.
Good. If any of our other mods are doing anything, want to join here on YouTube, you have to get into the vMix link, but you're welcome to.
Yeah, Q's bounce, SPY bounce. That was something else I was looking at too when I took that NVIDIA long trade. I kind of felt like that we were due for a bounce in the markets. Gotten pretty oversold there on a very short-term basis. So that's anything that was going to help this trade.
Tesla's going the other way. It's moving down here.
Yeah.
Just hit S4.
Tesla is at S4. Yeah, here we go, 108. Come on, get there. We can do it. You can do it, NVIDIA. Let's sell some here. We're right at R4. Sell some more.
Yeah, 107.83 is that level.
Oh, here we go. Now we're going to get through there. We're going to 108. There are other levels here, 108.50, but we had trouble getting there before. Patience. Richard Parker.
I drink a lot of water. Drink water every morning. It's funny, this morning as I went to drink my water, I'm like, it tastes so plain after drinking.
It doesn't taste like
lake water,
like fish. It doesn't taste like fish.
Well, that's it. Because the last 3 days I've been drinking lake water with all the filtration stuff in it, which always adds, some sort of weird flavor to it. So now I'm just drinking tap water. I'm like, it's so boring.
Sure looked very nice there, Peter.
Mm.
So you were camping?
We
glamping?
were, well, yes, it was a swimming trip. We were swimming through the park.
Yes,
So,
but I
and
saw
then
I
and
saw
then
you had
camping.
canoes there.
Yep. Our support crew was in the canoes with our equipment, and we were three of us were swimming. We had two guys supporting us, and it was fantastic. So,
That's
can
nice.
you drink the tap water in Canada? Yes, all across Canada, you can safely drink the tap water everywhere.
Pretty much.
Helen, you're asking a good question. What times of day are my most profitable trades? I'm not a normal trader, I guess, compared to some of the others in the room. My most profitable time of trading is actually between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. when we get the bigger moves that set up, and then 10 minutes to the close, 3:50 p.m. That is actually my single most profitable time of the day is 3:50 p.m. I've got my 1 to 10 trade. It's reliable. I've developed a good idea of when to trade it and when not to. I don't get a trade every day. I probably only trade it 2 out of 5 days a week, but when I do, it typically works for me. So yeah, HE is slowly dropping here. 1210 is what I want to see it get through.
I kind of thought that it was going to do that. It was going to pop up and then it was going to leak off.
Right.
It just kind of when it didn't continue down there on that leg after popping up second time. I just thought I'd just focus on other things. Here we go. It looks like I'm out of the rest of NVIDIA. I did take a little bit of a partial at 80, 107.80, but just struggling now. We're back at.
Yeah, it's hard to hold on to those, Brian, because they do.
Yeah.
HE could have also popped up, right? A buck
True.
really fast if you had some buyers in it, and that's the risk. So it's not worth sometimes holding just in case.
No. So we're making new lows here. This pop on the Qs came up to the 9 EMA. This is, I use the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, and you can see there this was definitely that moving average was resistance. Couldn't get back above that. That's kind of how I gauge if we're in a downtrend as well. So Qs are, even though we're popping a little bit here, we're still in a downtrend because we're still below the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. Same with the SPY.
Wow. Good move down on Tesla. I see Paris took that again. Paris killing it as always on Tesla. If I can try my imitation Paris. I love you, Tesla. That's Paris signature line.
You can kind of see on Bookmap here too. You can kind of see some levels that were set. People waiting to buy at 196. There was another order here, 195.50, and then there's a real big order here at 195.
Wow, they got a ton of members posting their trades. That's great.
Yeah, the order book on Tesla's kind of thinned out here. There isn't a lot of stuff left to the downside.
Yeah, NVIDIA's having trouble today. It couldn't get through 108.50. Now it couldn't get through 108.
Also, Tesla is right at Friday's low right now, so it might be an area where it could hold, but still looking a little weak here. GOLD gold. I think that's Barrick gold. It looks like it's showing up on the scanner. So I think they reported this morning. Apologize to everyone for that like to get my swing trade video on the weekend. Just obviously traveling, just so just had so much going on. Didn't get a chance to get it out, but I will try to get it out. I was working on it on the way home, so I will try to get something out today. It'll be a little late. Yeah, Mara, I would think Bitcoin was down a little bit this morning. I saw Mara and Riot on the gap down list.
Yeah, there was more news that this what is it called, the CFTC, the Commodity and Futures Trading Commission, is looking to put some regulations on the sector, which some of the crypto companies have come out against, saying it's overkill and heavy-handed. So we'll see what happens.
It's always overkill and over-regulation until people get scammed, and then they lose a lot of money, and then they want the government to reimburse them.
Yep, exactly. We were talking about that in the pre-market show. Exactly that. So, yeah, NVIDIA is really just chopping in a range here. So,
NVIDIA looks like it's Tesla looks like it's again trying to hold here. Mm-hmm. Friday's low. It is sort of an S4 level. We're just around it right now.
AMD.
Right.
AMD set a new high here. New high of the day on AMD.
Yeah, we are. We are back at 9 EMA on the SPY and the Qs. It does look like they're trying to hold here. So we might actually start to get a bit of a rally.
There we go. All right, so, AMD pushing higher here.
So is this swim thing? Is this going to be an annual event, Peter? Is this going to be something?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the one we did before this was 30 years ago. So this was us reliving college days to see if we could do it. So we were joking that we'll make it a once every 30-year thing, but that would make us mid-80s when we try it again. So that seems unlikely.
I was thinking I could join you if you were going to do it next year.
Yeah? You're a big swimmer?
No, I'm a big sinker.
Okay. You might want to work on that before we head out to the lakes.
I don't think there's anything I can do. I think I just have higher body density or something.
Yeah, some people swim, some people float, some people sink. It does, there's some narrow difference in people's body composition. I float very well. Like I was out in the lake for 8 hours a day for 3 days, and it's our longest swim was probably the one that was 5 hours nonstop. So I mean that's just a lot of swimming.
Yeah, it is a lot of swimming.
Yeah.
Okay, AMD looks like it's breaking out here.
Oh my God.
Hard to chase this here.
Salim, how many lakes in Ontario? I mean, there are thousands. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, don't they call the Muskoka they call it the land of 1,000 lakes or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. There's probably 10,000 lakes in Ontario. I don't know the number, but let's see. There are over 250,000 lakes in Ontario. 250,000. Yeah, we have a lot of lakes.
Wow, AMD.
I usually go to the
is
provincial
going-
parks because they're all, preserved territory. There's no buildings. There's no people. There's just, campers. That's it. So Algonquin and Killarney are my favorite two parks. AMD through 136, now challenging 137. Good little move up.
I'm short some 448 puts on the queue, expiring end of today. Just playing this bounce.
Sonny, yes, you do. I should have used those the sale of those puts to buy some 450 calls. That would have been even better. But oh well, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But it does look like the markets are bouncing here. Mm-hmm.
Thor probably got his move on the Qs and the SPY from R3 to S3. That's his favorite range.
Stay with us, by the way. I think today we have a special guest. I'm not sure. Before we cut off on YouTube, I thought Jared was going to join us. I don't know if anyone can confirm that for me, if that's going to happen today or if we're moving that to another day. But
oh, come on, we got to have Jared on. Come on, Jared.
Yeah, always great to have Jared on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
And of course,
sorry about
Jared
that.
Yes.
Jared is going to be on at 10:30 with Carl.
10:30.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to
All right, there you
continue
go.
our mountain chats on YouTube like we were doing before.
Beautiful.
And it's something we're still playing around with, but we got a lot of positive reception for that. But day trading will continue on the BPT chat room with Brian.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. So Jared will be beyond talking some theory and some practical observations of the market. 10:30, and we'll move back to live trading into the chat room and YouTube. I said we'll get Jared on. So that's great. Thank you, Brent, for confirming that.
Yeah, no worries. And we're going to have a Q&A period with him, the last 5 minutes with him. We're going to keep him on for 15 minutes. But please send good questions. Don't just say, look at this stock, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Please give us some good ones.
Yeah, we're ripping here now on on NVIDIA.
Wow. Look at that.
109.
Paris nailing it, getting the down on AMD and Tesla, getting the up move on NVIDIA. He's on fire today.
Paris is looking good.
When I grow up, I want to trade like Paris.
I think I'm going to cover some of my QQQ trade. Let's see where it's at. I got $1.40 for those puts. So now it's trading at 78 cents. I'm already up 40%. I think I'm going to buy some of them back now. Like I said, I wish I thought about going along the calls instead of shorting puts. We could have done both. Just different strategies you can use with options. And of course, if you want to find out how to trade options, how some of the strategies I use to trade options, you can always check out my book that's on Amazon called How to Trade Options. some of the basics as well as some strategies. So. All right, well, let's see. We had a really nice run up here, nice bounce. Hopefully some people took advantage of that.
Well, if it's any consolation, Brian, on HE, it came down, couldn't break that low, and came back up. So I think that trade is
Yeah,
done
I saw that. I can see that. So. While we're sitting here looking for trades, and I'm going to share a few picks in the room where we have a chance from our meeting we had on the weekend.
Oh, your meeting! I love it. That's good. I look forward to seeing those. Area Baz, nice trade there, and Tesla catching the bottom and trading it on the way back up. I like that. A lot of good trades this morning, guys. So let's do a rare early morning poll. While Brian's getting that going.
That's a great idea.
I'll send you guys a poll. Let's see how your day's going. You can answer that, get it off your screen, then you can see the pictures Brian's going to share with us. Here we go.
We'll throw up some pics from our meetup here.
Yeah, I want to see how it's.
Well, we did share some. We did share some on some of our chat, of course.
Wow, great response to the poll. Thank you, everybody. A lot of respondents here. Appreciate it. AMD coming up for a retest here of the high. It's looking sort of like my Mountain Pass trade, but it's a little early in the day for a Mountain Pass. Wait and see what AMD is doing here. Not sure I want to jump into that just yet. Especially if the market's still looking relatively strong. All right, last 30 seconds on the poll, and then we'll shut it down. Mountain Pass, Helen, it's, again, there's a video on it that'll explain all the details. But really, it's a double top or double bottom test trade that you're looking for the failure of that retest, and you take it in the reverse direction, looking for a reversal move. So check out the video. It explains it much better. Look at you guys on an airboat.
There's Jared trying to catch bugs, I think, as we were flying through the bayou.
He's a country boy. Little protein doesn't bother him.
Yeah. We were having a good time there.
Where's Andrew? Did he fall off the boat?
Jared and I just happened to be sitting beside each other on the boat. There's our picture of our meetup. All the people that chose to come down and join us. A lot of people from if drove a long way or even actually flew to come down and be with us. Oh, look at wow, NVIDIA's at 110 now. So we had people there from Pennsylvania and from Washington, D.C.
You have your traditional pose there, Brian. We're able to share that on YouTube here. I can share it. Here it is for our friends on YouTube. Yeah. Here's the meetup photo.
And then we had Rebel, one of our traders in the room there. They would post fairly often.
And if you missed it, everyone out there, here's the picture of Brian and Jared on the airboat. Oh yeah, I see that there's 3 people in front of you.
Yeah,
I can see that reflected in your glasses, Brian. There you go. Beauty. Nice.
And of course we had to have some pool time, so there you go.
Well, you're picking up the ladies then at the pool, are you? All right. All right. There we got a full picture now of Brian's weekend.
It's it's not Algonquin Park scenery, but
no.
You know.
It's a whole different atmosphere going on there. Love it. All right. There you go. Brian the player.
So some of the girls that joined us down there. So that was Andrew. Andrew had to orchestrate that picture.
Beauty. It's beautiful.
So there you go.
All right.
So that was our weekend. So let's see. We got quite extended. Excuse me. We got quite extended on this rally here. So up to back to R3 on the Qs and the SPY. Or at least on the Qs anyway. And a nice breakout on NVIDIA. Again, you can kind of see on Bookmap here how we had these levels that just, once we started breaking out here, just areas where institutions, large orders were placed. And this is, when institutions place orders, basically they believe they're going to get filled there. So they just sit there and wait. And this is a nice Bookmap's a nice visualization of those orders as they stack up and wait to get filled here. So I'm not sure. I think we're getting a little bit toppy here.
We definitely are. A little toppy. Looks like it.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't go chasing anything here if you haven't taken advantage of this rally. Wouldn't chase it here. This would not be the place to take an entry. I don't know that I would short it here, but short anything here, but we're definitely extended. So I did take advantage of that rally. Got sold puts, which is basically getting long the market, QQQ. So that was so I did take advantage of that move. Any number of ways of playing that. What's John mean? Of course, it doesn't take long for the memes to start flying out.
No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. Let me close up the poll. Thank you so much, everybody, for responding to that poll. Wow, I forgot I had it on a different screen here. Tons of respondents. Beautiful. Looks like our members so far this morning trading well. 45% of you say you're green in a real live account. 14% of you are green in a simulated account. 20% of our traders are struggling, having a rougher day, but that happens, right? 20% are red in a live account, and 7% are red in a sim account. The rest, just watching. So that's good. Good distribution. Typically, what we see.
I was gonna ask you, how does that compare to sort of our average? Because we've been taking this poll for a long time now.
I've been taking it for, I've got 600. This is the 650th time I've done this poll. And this is a little bit of an early one.
That's almost 3 years. 3 years of trading.
Oh, that is. First time I did the poll and recorded the results was September 2021. So, yeah, we've been doing it for 3 years now. And it's pretty much right on the averages, actually. Our average is 44% are green and 28% are red live trading. So we're pretty much right on those numbers.
Nice.
So, yeah, it shows that there's a good winning percentage. I mean, not everybody can win all the time. That's just a reality of trading. But our members certainly do better than the industry on average. So that's what we love to see.
Yeah, totally. And if you have had a rough day, you need to go back and do what we always advocate is you need to journal your trades, figure out where you went wrong and what you're going to do differently next time to make sure that the outcome is better. So it's not there's no shame in having a losing day. It's what you do with that information.
Correct. Indeed, it's all part of the process.
Yep.
Add zeros is you're clawing it back. Add zeros. I see that. So just be patient with it. Don't force anything.
That's usually almost there.
Yeah.
Again, don't there's always a temptation. I mean, when you're a pretty good trader and you're used to having good days, you have to be careful when you don't have a good day that you don't keep trading just because you think I don't want to have a bad day and I want to end green and I'm just going to keep trading until I'm green, because then quite often what happens is you just end up starting to take trades that you wouldn't normally take. You go outside your sort of regular trading book. You maybe start chasing stocks like buying NVIDIA up here.
Yep, the old revenge trades. They never work out. Never work out.
And the NVIDIA trade is looking pretty good here. We're back to 110. Wow.
Watching AMD just to see what it's doing up here, but hasn't shown signs of a reversal yet.
There are some orders here at 111 and 112 on NVIDIA. AMD is right at R4. Again, we've had a big run up off this this low of day. It was really some nice, really a nice reversal trade on the SPY and the Qs today. If for those that that saw that and took it. Double bottom on both of those. You had one low, and then you had another low, and then we just were off to the races back to sort of where actually the Qs are above where we opened. SPY is kind of right around where we opened, but I find these double bottoms, when you actually get a lower low on the second bottom and then you get a snap back, I find those even more powerful. They're even more of a sort of a strong signal that a reversing trend is in. There's 111 on NVIDIA. Oh, we're getting a nice rally here today. Tesla's still in the red.
Yeah. Remember what happened this morning, right? Earlier before the markets open, we were looking not a lot on the gappers list. And we said, but don't worry, right? Often these are the days that I find some good trade opportunities. So I did get one off the gappers list, HE, that I traded off the open. And you see our members, especially those that like to trade sort of the standard, the Magnificent Seven, the stocks that tend to move with good volume and a good mix of both retail and institutional traders. You can get some good moves like we're seeing this morning. So, just stick to what you know. Do what you're good at. And if you're not sure what that is, well, this is like Brian was saying, right? Well, you got to develop a trade book where you sort of learn a particular style of trading and then you can perfect it and then stick to it. That's key. And it's harder than you think. So, a couple minutes, we're going to have Jared on. He's going to give us a summary. I'm not sure if Carlos is going to be joining him to.
Sorry, Carlos is having technical issues still. So
okay.
We're pretty much just going to
let
Jared do his
Jared
thing.
can MC himself.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
He's a one-man show. He can do it all.
But we're just going to go stay on YouTube for that, and we'll let you continue live trading on the BBT chat room, Brian. If you want to go through there.
Okay. So Brent, we're going to wrap things up here on YouTube. 10:28, 10:29.
Yeah, we'll give it
10:30.
We'll give them 2
we'll
minutes.
Give it to 10:30? Okay.
Yeah, maybe there's a big trade you can take and tease them.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just...
no pressure.
I'm watching, we're getting a bit of a pullback on AMD and Tesla, or AMD and NVIDIA. I don't think I really want to short that because we still are in an uptrend. We've pulled back to the 9 EMA on both of them right now, so there's still some orders to the upside on NVIDIA. Let's take a look at what AMD looks like. AMD has some big orders at 138. Right. Yeah, it worked out well. It was, like I said, I really like the way we put in that double bottom on the Qs. A little bit of a sort of a false breakdown or a lower low, and then literally a snap back, and then we, as I said, I always watch the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. That second snapback, we broke above the 9 EMA, and then didn't really even hesitate at the 20 and the VWAP, and just kept going from there. So nice setup for a market reversal.
Thank you so much, Brian and Peter, for today. I'm going
to
exit the chat.
We got Jared.
I'm going to switch over to Jared. We got Jared in 1 second.
Sounds good. All right. Over to you, Jared. Thank you, everybody in YouTube. Trade smart. We'll see you back tomorrow morning for the pre-market show. So take care out there, everybody.
Okay.
Jared,
take it easy, everybody.
Take it away. Brian, love the hat, by the way.
Sure. Yeah. And Peter, thanks for hopping on and catching that rise and Dale trade with me. That was great. Cheers.
Yeah, my pleasure. I like it too. Gives me some green.
All right.
Okay, Jared, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you all so much. So happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good start of their week. Um, kind of just looking overall, we're trying to get a sense of how we're opening this week with a lot of price volatility last week that we really had to kind of work through and obviously understand, as a lot of market risk kind of came in all on the Monday session last week. I think short term, we're kind of still looking at a recovery trade in the grand scheme of the overall indices and how we're kind of moving price action based. I've left a couple of key levels that I think are relevant to the intraday trade. And you'll notice one of the things we're kind of looking at in the very short term this morning is the NASDAQ stocks are getting quite a strong reaction off of the low of day. This actually was kind of an interesting shift as well. We had some energy stock performance this morning. So a lot of focus maybe in the energy sector initially. That volatility is moving around fairly quickly, and now we're getting sort of a tech-based rally. One of which that I would say is kind of derived from last Friday's closing price, not necessarily 2 days ago Friday or 3 days ago Friday. I'm more or less referring to the gap down that we had about a week ago. So pretty interesting, I would say, movement right now in the short term. It's giving intraday traders a lot of really good opportunity to capture essentially what a swing trader might be looking for in maybe a less volatile market. And as someone who is intraday trading a bit more frequently and looking for those short-term opportunities, this volatility is ideal. It definitely offers faster resolution. So definitely noticing that within the NASDAQ as you're trading this morning, just kind of look to where the money is shifting and be thinking about if that's starting to hit other products at the same time. I wasn't necessarily keen on the S&P recovering at that level, but I think with NASDAQ on board and just the nuance of that price action, certainly a 30-minute engulfing or something equivalent to a V reversal starting to show up on the indices right now. I think what's good about this is we are looking ahead this week into a bit more risk in regards to our volatility readings. We certainly have things like our PPI and CPI upcoming later in the trading week. And some of that volatility will start to be seen within how the market is pricing risk over the next couple days. I'm someone who tends to look closer towards the CPI, PPI being, obviously the initiation of producer price index and just a general read on inflationary pressure. But the CPI coming then the following day, I typically believe that has a larger impact, and oftentimes the market will fully respond to the data once we get both of them out. So if we are to maybe shift over to our trading terminal and just look over our calendar, we can see PPI data tomorrow in the pre-market, right around 8:30 market time, and then CPI following. So like always, we'll cover a bit more about this on Engineering the Market. If you are in the BBT chat room at 8 o'clock market time, Monday through Thursday, I typically go over this information, give traders a bit more context into how to take some of the opportunity that we're about to see, and really just talk about the volatility that's behind it and sort of what can we expect from a range perspective. So those elements are coming up later in the week. Now, I think for the purposes of just overall review, last week does need to be acknowledged. I think there's still certainly a lot of risk moving ahead. And what a lot of traders are seeing is a lot of that volatility reduction in the short term. Whether we're saying volatility products, and usually most traders would be looking at something like an ETN, UVXY, or VIXY. But we also have certain things read in the volatility futures of the market. It's a bit more of a complex product. It is a futures product, and it carries with it a bit of a curve relative to certain amounts of volatility readings. So without going into too much detail, the market right now is still showcasing some short-term risk. That's seen usually with the active contract being priced higher than our back month contract, and just having a bit of a inverted market structure. But as we know, in the short term, Monday was really the moment to see that risk fully realized, and oftentimes volatility will self-correct. So potentially the market moving forward won't necessarily be in a suppressed volatility environment, but I think our new normal is going to be derived from some of these upper levels. And that's certainly where we'll have to maybe adapt a bit more as short-term traders, maybe be looking for quicker trades and less hold time, just because the volatility of our marketplace is giving us our targets much more quickly. So I think with all that, I also wanted to open up the opportunity for the YouTube community to ask questions. As Brent mentioned, we're certainly looking for a little bit of Q&A near the end of this session. So a couple more minutes here, and then I'll start looking over any questions that y'all might have. But I would say last but not least, you know, we as traders are trying to get a sense of what took place last week, and is there going to be not necessarily more downside, but I would say more price disruption. A lot of maybe more difficult to navigate waters. Maybe some people might just say choppier waters or harder to read interaction. Bigger picture, you know, we hadn't had a index correction to the magnitude of 10% this year. And if you look historically, 10% corrections do tend to take place at least once within the trading year. So at least as far as fitting the norm of what our indexes should do, this might be our 10% correction. And the question is, do we see any further downside, maybe equivalent to 15%? That would certainly be in focus as the market maybe shifts one more time to the downside and potentially starts to look at testing that Monday low, which is obviously going to be our focus point as we're starting to get away from it currently. So those little nuances, just more, I would say, overview, and the fact that indices don't necessarily go up in a straight line. Risk is often seen in different ways, and, you know, finding the reason for the reaction, that's our purpose as traders. Carrying a trade to the reaction, that's obviously a directional bias. But in the follow-up of a move, also being aware that things might have changed, and just being cognizant that what might have been working the past couple of months doesn't really work as well when things are more volatile. And, you know, certainly engineering the market, if you were to attend in the BBT chat room, we talk about a lot of those nuances and how to participate as traders, you know, whether the market is slow, steady, in a trend, in a range, or the like. So
Yeah, it's such a great show you have in the morning, especially last Monday. I remember you just chilling people out over the fear of the market crashing. And I was listening in the background. So it's a really good show. But please, guys, ask some questions. You got Jared here.
Yeah, I'm open to some Q&A here, so feel free to post. I'll be looking for any input there, and we'll proceed as needed. Let's see. I'll kind of take maybe a closer view at how our market is trading this morning. We're still seeing that huge reaction off the lows on the NASDAQ here. So HG is asking, midterm future of the market performance will become clearer after NVIDIA releases its earnings and the Fed announces decision on rates. I think those two items are uncertain items. NVIDIA with its larger market impact and overall volatility in regards to its earnings release and in regards to its active trading. The Fed decision announcement, I'm someone of the opinion that unless the Fed does something unexpected, the market's pretty good at pricing that information in, even though as traders, we just kind of see it as price action and movement over maybe the short term moving into the midterm. For the purposes of NVIDIA, that's going to be an earnings reaction. We'll just have to monitor and navigate it accordingly. If NVIDIA does take, let's say, a move to the downside or just doesn't have the type of beat relative to its current pricing, we could certainly be talking about maybe moving away from semiconductors being the key market leader moving forward and start to look to see if other sectors maybe carry that baton a bit better. But all in all, one thing to consider is, does NVIDIA have to really move in order to be stable? And, we're kind of looking at a product that did have a decent amount of downside recently, but if bid back up, we could see price stability over the next couple of months. And, there are some examples of that maybe were in place previously. I bring up maybe like SMCI, or even though AMD has had some downside, there are periods of much more stable price action that aren't necessarily considered bullish or bearish. They're more or less just the middle of a lot of volatility that happened prior. So that's NVIDIA's outlook, in my opinion. And then, of course, the Fed announcement, a lot of that's already priced in, but we're certainly watching to see if there's any sort of emergency rate cut decision. So is SVIX a good play long? If there is a period coming up where we see a lot of volatility, it's really nice to be on the other side of that move. So I'm not saying that you should execute now, but if we continue to see volatility come off, any, let's say, short-term hourly pullback on SVIX might be something to take a very precise trade upon. Right now, I'm kind of monitoring maybe an hourly channel. You can kind of see the nuance of that currently. So do I want to execute at the top of the channel? No, but it doesn't mean that this asset isn't moving up right now. So. And how does it correlate to the inverse of the VIX? This should be tracking more the vol futures. So I brought up /VX. It's quintessentially just going to replicate a short in vol futures through an ETN. So what is the price target for NVIDIA according to you? As we get closer to earnings, the volatility of earnings will kind of give us a sense of a range. So I'm not someone who really cares about price targets. What I care about is how the option market is pricing the earnings. So if NVIDIA is coming out on the 28th and we're looking out in August 30th to kind of get a sense of how volatile this asset is moving forward, the option market right now is pricing approximately plus or minus 16. I expect that number to keep going up over time. And as it's going up, this is going to be what's in focus whenever we get very close to the earnings release. So that day of is going to be kind of a quintessential factor. But when I look across the option market right now, there's a lot of volume and open interest at different levels, which means over the course of the next, let's say, 14 days, NVIDIA could navigate up and down and achieve a lot of those price targets and still find itself trading somewhere in the middle of all this volatility. It's kind of easy to see that we might have hit some extreme low, but it doesn't mean that NVIDIA gets to go straight through the all-time high. We could easily find ourselves right in the middle of somewhere around 117 to 120. That'd be probably our bounce target right now. And then beyond that, do we have some earning volatility to manage? So,
Jared, thank you so much for coming on YouTube. Again, we're going to continue this mod conversation at the end of our open market show. Hopefully Carlos will be with us tomorrow. Jared, is there anything you want to say before I sign us off?
no, I think overall appreciate the questions. I think as we move forward, these are great questions to kind of generate some ideas and conversations for traders. And more importantly, just remember everybody kind of has their own objectives out there in the market. So always find your path inside of trading, whether that be short term or bigger picture concepts. It's one of those unique situations where a lot of traders can be right and a bigger move can still happen later. So right now we're just trying to navigate some of the more disruptive volatility that's taking place.
Great, thank you so much. And we're going to have you every Monday. You're going to be a regular after our open market hour. So thank you so much.
That is correct. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Great. Everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.